What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat!
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Dead Meat Podcast, an extension of the YouTube channel Dead Meat. I'm James.
I'm Chelsea, and we're boyfriend and girlfriend, and we like to get scared together.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go all the way back to things that scared you during your childhood. On Twitter last week, I asked you guys to email me with things, specifically movies or TV shows, whatever, that scared you as a kid. And holy crap, I got over 500 emails, probably maybe 600 now, because some of them I had to stop tallying them up because there were so many.
Yeah.
So what I did was I took all of your answers and I put them in a spreadsheet so I could count how many times each one showed up.
Yeah.
And I organized them all into categories. So we've got our heavy hitters, which these are movies that far and away were just like heads above the rest of any other answer in terms of how many times they showed up. Just these movies really traumatized all of you, and they were pretty much the answers you would expect to show up. Are you looking at it right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I have another tier where it's kind of the next level down, still enough for it to be notable. I got these movies answered several times by people, but it's like another tier down of how frequently they occurred. Then I have just a category of characters that scared people, like specific people or characters in things. And I made an honorable mentions category for movies, like you said, where, all right, these are still technically horror movies, but it did strike me how often these showed up in terms of specifically scaring people as kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where there may be movies that...
Well, I mean, you just got three here. Gremlins and Jurassic Park are movies that you show kids.
Exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
put them here. It's like, okay, they're still, like, I would count them as horror movies, but they're still movies where kids went to go see them.
Yeah, they're kid-friendly
but
horror
they're
movies.
terrifying, and
Mhm.
I was terrified of both of those as a kid.
The third one on there, the It miniseries.
Yes.
Maybe not.
Maybe not for children.
For children, but
there's
like...
a character that commits suicide, like...
True.
Is that halfway through?
It's at the end of the first part, yeah.
Yeah. Not for kids, but...
But, I mean, as a kid, 1990 was too early for me. I was only born the year prior. But growing up, we would watch the Stephen King miniseries as a family, like all the various other miniseries that came out during the late 90s. So, yeah, I could see that. And it was always the one where it was like, I didn't watch it for a long time because it was supposed to be the scariest thing.
Yeah.
And then I watched it and it was like,
not really.
it's not.
Tim Curry is scary. I think no one can argue. He seems like such a loose cannon in that. I just love his take on that character. I have an underrated category of one that it showed up a few times and I felt very vindicated when this showed up because I have talked about this thing before and no one ever knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Then I also have a things I love category where these are so weird, and these are the answers where this is what I was craving for this, because this is a category of things that are just objectively not supposed to be scary and yet frightened people in a way that I think is so hilarious. So that's going to be my favorite category. So that'll be our dessert for the end.
Okay.
I also have some of your emails in full that I'm going to read because they made me laugh so hard. So, okay, let's go through our heavy hitters. Do you want to start? Because it's a movie I know you like.
I watched this movie so much as a kid that, I probably had it memorized at some point. Brave Little Toaster.
Brave Little Toaster.
Which is a movie you didn't watch a lot as a kid.
I saw it as a kid. I know I've seen it before. It must have left zero impression.
And then
on
we
me.
watched a scene from it and you called it ugly.
I think it looks disgusting.
And you said you had no interest in it.
I could feel people turning the podcast off.
Even that song I showed you,
It's a bad song.
No, it was a cool song. B-movie.
It's like a movie. It's a B-movie show.
It was like kind of disco-y and it was talking about
I
Frankenstein
guess,
and
but
stuff.
I'm just watching a bunch of appliances.
That's fun and creative.
I guess. I just think it's that.
If Pixar did it,
A lot of
fucking...
Pixar people worked on this. This is a pre-Pixar
That makes
Pixar
sense.
creation. Which, yeah, you think about it. Yeah, it's objects coming to life, and their boy is missing. They miss their boy.
I
their
loved
master.
it so much.
You got that little electric blanket. It's like, he was our master.
He was the little baby, and he had the gruff vacuum cleaner.
I do think that the electric blanket's very cute.
He was cute.
I do also appreciate that the air conditioner in this clip that everyone said scared them is played by Phil Hartman, who is
doing a Jack Nicholson.
Impression, which points for Brave Little Toaster, because that's I love it. And I love that the air conditioner says verbatim the line, "What are you gonna do? Suck me to death?"
Why don't you just shut off?
Hey, I'm real scared there, Kirby. What are you gonna do? Suck me to death?
So, okay, points.
Yeah, it's a fun. It's I remember it being very dark and not pulling punches when it came to like depictions of scary things, like the song I showed you with the like deformed experimental things, kind of like out of Sid. Sid's
it's like
collection in Toy Story.
It's not Joan Rivers, but it's a Joan Rivers impression.
Yeah, like those characters. And then I didn't show you because your interest had just fallen completely off a cliff.
I was done, yeah.
The other song that I wanted to show you was like, it's near the end. They're in a junkyard and they have to avoid being crushed into cubes. And cars are singing, like junk cars are singing about how they're going to get, and then they get crushed. Like you see characters who are singing die.
It's like Toy Story 3.
Only if they had the guts to go through with it.
That would be the best.
Brave Little Toaster.
It's like that, I'm sure everyone's seen it, but that video where that guy was showing Toy Story 3 to his family. He edited it so it ends where they go into that furnace.
Yeah, he made the credits come out right as they go into it. And his mom was just like, what?
That's a prank where I'll often think I'm just over pranks in general. But then someone will do something like that where it's just really good.
It's so good, dude. And he's like, isn't that messed up?
Yeah, man. Isn't that messed up?
Also, I just want to note, Brave Little Toaster had a sequel where they went to the moon.
Shut the fuck up, really?
I never saw it.
How'd they go to the moon?
I don't know. I never saw it. Or was it Mars? They went into outer space.
Either way, that's not the issue. It's just the fact that they went to
really?
Mars.
Because there are some degrees of travel issues between the moon and
but
Mars.
I'm just saying,
Chelsea.
like, Mars. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Like, no, the fact that they somehow get rocketed into space. Maybe it's a future where we build that trash elevator.
Oh,
which I hope happens. It's never gonna happen, but. If I'm president, we're building a trash elevator. Next is Ernest Scared Stupid, which I didn't really watch the Ernest movies.
I didn't watch him
up.
either. He wasn't my favorite. He seems like a nice guy.
It's Jim Varney.
Yeah,
Speaking
Jim Varney
of Pixar.
Seems, yeah. Oh, there you go.
He's Slinky Dog. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to just connect all of these back to Pixar somehow.
Yeah, I didn't really watch him. I wish I had. He seems like a good, kind-hearted, like, working class figure to me out of the clips that I've watched.
He's a Mr. Magoo kind of
Mr.
fuck up.
Bean, maybe? He's kind of
He's
fuck
a
up.
bit more verbose than Mr. Bean.
Definitely.
Mr. Bean has a vocabulary of like three.
But yeah, the clip that apparently a lot of people said was this troll in the bed, which
Every
we watched
single
this
person
It
who
scared me, dude.
It's
kind of the kids' version of Mulholland Drive.
There's nothing under the bed. There's nothing under the bed. There's nothing under the bed.
Because
God, yeah.
she's sitting there telling her mom there's something under the bed. There's this whole scene lead up
it's
where they're
something.
talking to each other about like this scary thing that you don't see. And so this dread is building. Only in this case, it's not actually under the bed. She turns her over in bed and it's there. And it looks hideous.
It's nasty. It's
It's
a
gross.
super close up of this troll. I think that whole movie has a lot of puppets and creepy critters.
I think
in
that's
it.
a through line with a lot of these is creepy looking puppets and creepy looking either stop motion animation or early CG animation.
Yeah.
Freaks a lot of people out with good cause. Bad CG is weird.
It is weird.
And
Early
most
CG is nasty.
early CG is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, speaking of puppets, we got E.T.
Yeah.
Scared a lot of people. Different parts of E.T. also. There's a lot of freaky shit in that movie.
The hazmat guys, right?
The hazmat guys for sure. That freaked me out as a kid. It's from the end where the government realizes that they have an alien at their house. And so the kitchen has all these sheets all over it. And you see a guy in a hazmat suit just kind of come through the door wall. And it's so scary. Also, the beginning. And I remember when I was a kid, this is the thing that the first time I tried watching E.T. as a kid, my babysitter had to shut it off because it's the thing that scared me is when Elliot first meets E.T. in the field. And you haven't really seen what E.T. looks like yet. And so just this noise out of nowhere and Elliot is screaming and E.T.'s screaming and it's just too much for me and a lot of kids. And now it's like maybe my favorite Spielberg. I love E.T. so much.
Except for The Terminal.
Oh yeah, The Terminal.
That's your favorite Spielberg.
Number one Spielberg. Everyone's favorite Spielberg movie, The Terminal. Next, we have another alien movie, Mars Attacks. The aliens in this also scared me as a kid. I saw a trailer for it when this movie came out. When was that? Like mid-90s?
96, 7?
Yeah, there was a trailer
Maybe 8.
for it in front of something, and oh boy, I did not appreciate those aliens. They're scary
They're
looking.
scary as fuck.
Although we went and watched this movie pretty
like a year
recently,
ago, maybe
and
2.
I was dismayed to realize that the aliens are mostly CG in this movie, and it sucks.
Yeah.
They look bad.
They look like they don't look the worst, but it would have been better but it also would have been expensive. There's so many of them running around.
It's Tim Burton. He had money.
I guess.
And it's cool when they are practical, like the lady alien in the dress where she's kind of swaying around. Like she's really scary.
Chewing.
Yeah.
They're scary, yeah.
They're like when they're practical, there's such good creepy bits to that movie, but overall, man, that movie stinks. Jack Nicholson's good in
I was
it.
disappointed in it when we watched it recently because I watched it a lot as a kid and really liked it. I think the moment that stands out to me as being scared when I was a kid was when it kills the president, Jack Nicholson, by like they go to shake hands and the hand comes off and like stabs him in the back. And I remember just being like, he wasn't supposed to die.
Yeah.
And, like he was being nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that betrayal.
That really cut me deep, man.
I do like I like the look of the aliens though, and I get that they're supposed to be based on these like, kind of pulp comic covers and trading cards specifically. I think they're based on where it's these sets of trading cards with these like events that happen during this alien invasion. They're very pulpy.
Can't forget how stacked that cast is too.
It's a good cast.
Real young Jack Black, who gets killed like right away.
He's like a minor fucking character.
Yeah, because this was before. I think it was before. What was it? Fucking High Fidelity was kind of his first like launching role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker's head gets put on a dog.
Oh yeah, it's her and who's the guy she's in love with? Is it Alec Baldwin or?
Shit, I forget.
Fuck.
Who else is in it?
There's Tom Jones running around. Danny
Jones
DeVito's in there.
How did I forget?
Yeah, dude. There's so many people in that cast.
There's too many damn people.
Natalie Portman's in it.
Is she really?
Yeah, like super young Natalie Portman.
We just watched this too, and
it's
I don't
insane
remember.
how
I think
many
I was
people are in
super
that
checked
cast,
out
man.
though.
Yeah.
I'd start with Jack Nicholson either not trying or trying really hard.
It was
I can't
both
tell.
at the same time. It was fascinating.
Right.
And he also played the two
I was
different
gonna say
roles.
because he's two different characters.
Yeah, he's like a cowboy businessman.
Might be worth watching just for that role of his.
Yeah.
Even in a time of so-called intergalactic emergency, the people still want to roll and boom.
Next up, we have Neverending Story.
I never watched this.
Man,
as a kid.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it ever. Yeah. Is it 80s? Is that why it's that late 80s? Like it was just too old for me, maybe.
Yeah, it was either late 80s or early 90s. I just think. You know what? It might have been one where I would have been the right age for it because I had friends who really liked it, but I know both of my parents hate fantasy shit. Especially my mom. My mom does not like fantasy stuff. She hates, like, I think her idea of hell is just a run fair forever. She thinks that she had a past life where she was murdered at the Crusades or something.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say murdered at a
run fair. Yeah. Just mugged at a run fair and murdered.
To me, I feel like I always thought it looked old.
That too. It's very 80s looking, but I like Labyrinth, so.
Yeah, but I didn't even watch Labyrinth until I was like in high school, and then
really?
I just like appreciated it for how weird it was.
Oh no, Labyrinth I watched as a kid.
Oh, okay.
That one I think got a pass because David Bowie was in it.
Yeah. The clip we watched.
Yeah, it's this horse just fucking dying in a swamp.
That looks real sad.
Artax, I think.
Artax, you're sinking! Come on, turn around! You have to now!
It's the main character he's got his horse, and I think it's like the swamp of. It's the never-ending swamp of never-ending sorrows, something like that. It's
some
just a
bullshit
miserable
like that.
place. And yeah, this horse just gets sucked down in the swamp. And at the end, though, the horse comes back. It's revived.
Oh.
Yeah. So, right? Have some balls, never-ending story. And it's a German-produced movie, too. You'd think, like, the Germans would like, stick it on and be like, no, the horse is dead.
I like how the clip we watched also ties into just every child's fear of quicksand.
Every kid, I was afraid of quicksand.
Oh yeah, dude.
Every kid I know, I don't know if it was our age group or just in general, but every kid is afraid of quicksand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Quicksand and tornadoes.
Well, tornadoes, fuck yeah, they were scary.
They're so
shit.
scary. But yep, I don't know why we were so afraid of quicksand, because where are we ever gonna run into any of it?
But, an American child probably has a higher likelihood of dying from grain engulfment than quicksand.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Which is a very real fear I have. Not that it's something I can avoid, It's not really a real fear. It's not like flying where I have to fly places and it's kind of a legitimate fear, but grain silos, I can just not go in those and I'll be fine. Next one, my favorite movie of all time.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, like, it's my favorite movie.
It's a damn good pick.
Yes. Pee-wee's Big Adventure scared the bejesus out of so many of you, myself included. Lots of different parts of this, too.
Large Marge has to be
Large
number
Marge
one.
is number one. Large Marge, if you haven't seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and this is what I love about it, too, is it's like an American kind of road trip movie. Or not even road trip. It's almost like the American version of The Odyssey, but not Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which is the American version of The Odyssey. But it really is. He's like on this journey and meets this weird cast of characters as he goes from coast to coast. And it's
so good.
It's so good. So Large Marge is a woman who he's hitchhiking and she's a trucker who picks him up and she starts telling him the scary story.
On this very night, 10 years ago, along this same stretch of road, in a dense fog, just like this, I saw the worst accident I ever seen.
She starts telling him this scary story and she gets to the end and she turns around and her face is this fucking claymation nightmare done by the Kyoto brothers of Killer Clowns fame. So it was so great to finally meet them and right off the bat tell them that was something that scared. I'm sure they hear it all the time, but that scared the shit out of me as a kid.
And when they finally pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this.
They're gonna be on at some point. I'm trying to figure out a date with them, but yep. That and the clown in the parking lot near the beginning. Pee-wee ties up his bike to this animatronic clown that's standing there and waving, and then when he comes back out and his bike is gone, he looks up and the clown has this evil face. Next, Pinocchio.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Pinocchio's scary.
Those kids get turned into donkeys, and that's it for them.
That's the part everyone was...
Fuck yeah. It's terrifying. It's so sad.
Yeah.
These
when
kids...
they're all crying for their mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never see them get saved.
Nope.
No, they're just
off
fucking...
to the salt mines.
Yeah.
Mama!
The other thing, and there were a few emails about this too, but this was the thing from Pinocchio that scared me. For some reason, Pleasure Island did not register to me as super traumatized. I think because I didn't understand the weight of it. But Monstro, fucked my shit up. Monstro is very scary, yeah. Because Monstro's animation is just incredible and overwhelming. Pinocchio in general is like...
It's the best animated thing ever,
it is, yeah.
right?
Pinocchio literally is that, and I would say Sleeping Beauty... There's no other comparison in terms of how much money was spent on the animation.
Yeah, and effort. And there never will be again.
We'll never, ever see anything like it ever again.
Very importantly, there was money available now, almost unlimited money to pursue perfection in a way that hadn't been the case before.
There was a crazy madman of a guy named Josh Metter who was the effects animator on a lot of that Monstro sequence. If you look at the Monstro sequence, you think, oh yeah, well, so we're going to do this sequence with a whale and he's going to swallow our stars. But he's going to jump around for a while, and you want to see a water splash? Well, great, we'll show you a water splash, but we'll show it to you from 3/4 of an angle, and we'll have it splash up at the screen, and we'll recreate nature and these wave crashes. The fearlessness of Pinocchio and the artistry is what impresses me. And Josh Metter was as much of a hero of Pinocchio as anyone else.
Next up, we have Return to Oz.
I never watched this.
I want to watch this with you because I watched this a lot growing up and I really liked it.
The clips we watched were pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember this was one where I saw it in a video store and picked it because I thought the cover was cool. And that was it. And I'm glad I did. I rented it a bunch of times after that because... yeah, I think it was like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure type feeling where it was scary, but I had a fun time with it.
It does seem a little dark.
It is dark.
Is that supposed to be Dorothy?
Yes.
Okay. Why is she younger?
She's not. Well, I think she's not younger. Judy Garland is an older person playing a little kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, Dorothy is a little kid.
She's like a little kid. How old was Judy Garland when she was in it?
I don't know, man. I don't know that.
I mean, I haven't
top of my
seen
head.
it, but I feel like she was like a 20-year-old or like kind of
pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a unofficial sequel to the movie. It's why you got. I think the ruby slippers are in this. They're silver slippers in the books.
Oh.
So this is a sequel unofficially to that original movie. Apparently, I did not know this. This is a Disney produced movie. It's a Disney movie, Return to Oz.
Then the original was not.
No. That was Warner Brothers. So what happened was Disney got the rights to Wizard of Oz in the 50s, I think. And they just didn't really do anything with it. And the ownership was about to run out in the 80s. So they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Just make a Wizard of Oz, whatever. So they made this crazy ass movie. And apparently in Disneyland Paris, their version of the storybook boats has the version of Oz in it from this movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
But the thing people were scared of was the wheelers.
Yeah, those wheelers were scary and looked like it would be uncomfortable for their backs.
Yeah, they're these guys who are... I'm trying to think of how to explain it.
It's like they're leaning over and their arms are as long as their legs and then all four of their limbs have roller blades.
Yeah,
on
it's
them.
like they have stilts on each of their limbs and there's wheels at the end of the stilts and they're rolling around and cackling and they have masks on the top of their heads. They look down and there's a face, but then they look up and it's their face. And they're chasing Dorothy around and it's fucking scary.
Come here, chicken!
Scary stuff. That and Princess Mombi, who is the
Is that the
princess
head?
she has a whole collection of heads that she just takes on and off, and she tries to kidnap Dorothy so she can have her as a head when she's older. Next up, we've got the Grinch, specifically the Jim Carrey Grinch, which that makes me think, okay, a lot of you are a bit younger, I think.
Just a few years.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what, 2001?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of the Grinch. I like the Grinch. I think the Grinch is a solid movie.
I kind of like it too.
I think it's
that
a
Christmas,
fine movie.
The live action?
Yes.
I think it's fine too.
I think they commit to what they're doing there, and Jim Carrey gives it his all.
Yeah.
And I will defend the Grinch.
I don't hate it. I mean, granted, I hate most Christmas movies. This is one I don't hate, and so I'll watch it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's got Baby Grinch.
That's true. It does have Baby Grinch.
We literally bought a plush
have
baby
a Grinch. Weirdly, the original animated Grinch, there was a part in that scared me a ton as a kid.
That one was scary because the voice.
The Boris Karloff, dude.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene in that where it's when he's coming down the hill and Max is attached to the front of the sled and the Grinch just comes right at the camera and his eyes are right nope, I did not. Didn't like that. Next we have The Witches.
The Witches. Fuck yeah.
You should talk about The Witches.
I watched that.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, dude, we should watch it because it's widely acclaimed, I believe, and I watched it a bunch as a kid and remember being fucking scared of it because it's I think it takes place in like a hotel, which is it adds to the eeriness of it that it's not like a place that's like a house or a home or even a neighborhood. I feel like it's in kind of a remote hotel, almost The Shining-esque, if my memory serves correct. But Angelica Houston is the main witch, and she is fucking awesome. Always. She's always awesome. But as a head witch, she's great. But yeah, it's they're hideous, when they're not looking like Angelica Houston. You saw it in the trailer, just like they look like goblins kind of. And then they turn kids into mice who are just running around. And I think they cut off the kid's tail after he turns into a mouse. So it's scary. It's definitely like, dangerous. It feels dangerous. Feels very dangerous as a kid who spies upon and learns about these witches and then gets punished for it.
Yeah. Man, Angelica Houston in that, her acting career, she plays all the roles that I would want to play if I were an actor, pretty much. Like that and Captain EO, which you haven't seen because that is never open when we're at Disney, and also probably won't be there anymore because of that Michael Jackson documentary that came out, reminding everyone of things. But she is like the villain in that, and she's Morticia, and she just has...
She's in Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah, she's kind of got this. Yeah, her type casting is kind of what I aspire to, I think.
I think you have the same aura.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Cool. I like that. We've got Who Framed Roger Rabbit up next. Understandable. The judge specifically, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah, and putting tunes in the dip and shit. That movie's scary.
When I kill your brother, I talk. Just wait.
Next up, we have Willy Wonka, the original
that fucking
version
tunnel
with
scene.
Gene Wilder. Yep, that tunnel scene. Everything about this movie. It's
kids disappearing or possibly dying.
Kids being murdered. It's funny because in the book, I remember you do see afterwards that the kids are alive.
And they do that in the Johnny Depp version too.
Yeah.
You see them like walking out.
Because what happens, I forget if this is the case in the Johnny Depp one too, but in the book, when you realize the kids are fine, they're still all like... Augustus is all stretched out because he's been in the tubes, and Viola is still blue, but she's been drained, so she's not a big blueberry anymore.
Yeah, that's how it is in the Johnny Depp one. You
see
him, like, walking out,
but
like,
this version, Gene Wilder might have just murdered all.
He might have
those
just
kids.
murdered them because he's fucking insane.
He's so good at playing this guy with a few screws loose, but you still love him.
You want to trust him, but part of you is like, can I? Yeah. Can I, Willie?
But that movie's so great. Yeah, the tunnel freaked me out as a kid too, because
scared everyone.
There's footage of like a chicken getting its head cut off.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
There's no earthly way of knowing
He's singing.
Which direction we are going. There's no knowing where we're rowing, or which way the river's flowing.
Last but not least in our heavy hitters category is Wizard of Oz.
I guess that's got a lot of dark stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. I
haven't seen it in a long time.
I think Wizard of Oz is also a movie I love. I think it's like a pretty much perfect movie. It's very good. Wizard of Oz, I think that's a classic in terms of ones that have scared. It scared kids
the flying monkeys, right?
The flying monkeys, the Winkies, the trees.
The Winkies, the trees? Oh,
no, the Winkies are the guards.
Yep.
The witch in general.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
I was particularly scared of the tornado that picks up the house. Again, kids are scared of
tornadoes, man.
And that movie didn't help. Yep, that house getting picked up and the witch is outside. We all know Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I mean, Freddy Krueger does an impression of it.
That's right, yeah.
You know you've made it.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul, too.
Next tier.
This is the next tier. This is our next tier down of still pretty consistently emailed to me, but not as much as that first group. First up on this list is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, specifically the Child Catcher.
Cherry pies, cream puffs, ice cream, treacle tarts.
Treacle tarts and ice cream and all free.
Come along, kitty winkies.
So I saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as a kid, and I don't really remember it, so I had to go watch a clip of this guy, and we were both watching it, and I was like, dude, I could watch this whole movie right now. I have such a weakness for movie musicals that are family friendly and from that period of the 60s or whenever that came out, like Pete's Dragon and Mary Poppins and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the child catcher is a guy, so it's this kingdom where kids aren't allowed, and this guy runs around in the street with lollipops and candy.
I like how he prances about.
It's great.
It's so funny,
yeah,
dude.
the physicality is so good, and he's real scary when he lures a kid into his carriage that looks like one of those Cracker Jack, Animal Crackers circus train things, but as soon as the kids get inside, he locks the door and the sides of it fall away and it's just a fucking cage.
It's great.
Weirdly, I did not know this. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the movie was co-written by Roald Dahl, speaking of Willy Wonka. And it was based on a book by Ian Fleming.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
author of James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he wrote anything as prolific or as, that has name recognition besides James Bond. But this movie was produced by, what's his face? Broccoli.
Oh, Albert Broccoli?
Albert Broccoli, yep.
Broccoli and Salazar, I think was the other guy, who produced most of the
Bond
pretty
movies,
much all the
yeah.
James Bond movies, yeah.
Yeah. Weird. I didn't know they were doing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be a Bond movie.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Although that'd be Connery. This was 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be Connery.
Who was next?
Well, you got
Lazenby?
Lazenby for one of them.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which might have been around here.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
it might have been a Lazenby.
It might have been a Lazenby jam. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's not more.
Yeah. Next is Coraline. I was too old to be scared by this, but
Too old to be scared, but still recognized it as a creepy thing.
Oh yeah,
The buttons in the eyeballs.
This is what I had a hard time with because I almost put it in the honorable mentions category because it seems like such a movie that's trying to be creepy.
It is. Yeah.
But it's also first and foremost a kids movie, I think.
It's a good I think entry level scary movie.
Yeah.
It's a scary movie
Yeah,
for
it's
kids.
the thing that freaks people out is the fake parents and the button eyes and all
There's also
that
They
stuff.
Might Be Giants song.
Making up a song about Coraline. She's a peach, she's a doll, she's a pal of mine.
We got Dumbo, the pink elephants on parade, also freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah.
I forgot Dumbo was also on here. We were just
such
talking
a
about
fucking
it.
trip. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm sure Pooh and the
Heffalumps and Woozles.
which is just Pink Elephants Part 2.
A little bit, yeah.
Right?
Look out, pink elephants on parade, here they come, hippity-hoppity.
Pachyderms. Oh my god! If you go see, is that part has to still be in
Fantasia.
there?
I think when we saw it,
Phantasmic.
when we saw it after it was updated, they still had the pachyderms.
Okay, so if you
yell.
go see Phantasmic at Disneyland, you will hear one of my favorite covers of any song ever. They have a Pink Elephant segment of that show, but it's this guy. It is
it's like power metal.
Yeah, it really is like a power metal. Like we've got electric guitar and he is wailing pink elephants and he at one point just goes, "Pachyderms!" He just starts shredding. It's so good. It's our favorite part of that because it makes us laugh so hard.
Yeah, it's great.
Great Mouse Detective next. Is another animation I put in the category of ugly 80s animation.
No, Brave Little Toaster is different.
I disagree.
Great Mouse Detective and Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
Those ugly
Although I love
animations.
Black Cauldron, ironically.
Yes.
And it's, you got the Horned King is pretty fucking cool.
That's it, dude. The rest of that movie fucking sucks so
It
much
does
when
suck
we're not
really
making
hard.
D&D jokes about it.
It does suck really hard, yes.
Yeah.
No, Great Mouse Detective, and it's the part where in the beginning the girl mouse gets kidnapped.
Olivia. Gotcha.
Yeah, the bat with the awful fucking horrendous voice.
God, I can't watch that movie. It sucks that
awful
Vincent
movie.
Price is in it. Vincent
But he's
Price
doing a
is
stupid voice.
Yeah, but he's also the best part. The only good part.
We've gone over all these points in Drunk Disney, The Great Mouse Detective, featuring friend of us, Nick Scardarossi.
That was with Nick. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, that's probably an extra sloppy episode then.
Yeah, Nick gets a sloppy.
Yeah, he does. Next is the Harry Potter series in general.
Okay.
Again, ones we were too old to be scared by.
Yeah.
We got Fluffy, the big dog, is scaring people with the 3 heads.
Okay.
Quirrell's face on the back of Voldemort's head when he
That's pretty
takes off
creepy.
that turban.
Mm-hmm.
Them taking that potion to morph into Crabbe and Goyle, and when Hermione turns into the cat. Basically any elements from the Harry Potter movies where there's shitty CGI is when people are
Quidditch
getting
match?
freaked out. Well, yeah, the Quidditch matches. We also have the Indiana Jones series. Freaked a lot of people
that
out.
fucking
The face melt,
melting.
yeah, and the heart being ripped out in Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I mean, Poltergeist is not here because it's
a horror movie.
But that face melting definitely stuck with me as a kid, dude.
Yeah.
Now I watch it, I'm like, this looks ridiculous.
yeah. It does look a little silly.
But
It's a head on top of a head.
Yeah.
You know?
It terrified me as a kid.
We got Jumanji, one I was also scared of as a kid. That's another movie where you said the witches kind of felt dangerous. This is one that feels dangerous to me, Jumanji.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. It's just there's no control over anything in that movie, and you're just at the whim of this evil fucking board game. To the point, that movie freaked me out to the point where I think a friend of mine had the board game Jumanji, and the idea of actually playing it was, even though I knew stuff's not going to come out of the board game, there still was that.
That was your Ouija board?
A little bit, yeah. Ouija boards I was fine with. But for some reason, Jumanji, no. Labyrinth was scaring people too.
Makes sense. That's
There's
a
a
big
lot
bulge.
of puppets in that, and David Bowie's dick. It's so big and just right there. It's very intimidating.
Yeah.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes, you'll be mine.
Next one is one I've never seen. I'm familiar with, like I've heard of it, and now I kind of want to watch it because
It looks kind of cool.
It looks real trippy. The entire movie is on YouTube, and the top comment is just someone like, I'm so baked right now. It's Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, which is an 80s animated film. It is I think it's the first major animated film to be done by both Japanese and American animators and filmmakers. I was reading the Wikipedia about this, and it went through production hell pretty much. It was because this is an adaptation of an old comic strip it ran for like 20 years. I think it started in like 1908 or something ridiculous, but we're like early 20th century comic strip. And it was a surreal, weird comic strip too. So they're trying to adapt this 20-some year series into a movie, and no one can agree on anything. Ray Bradbury's involved at a point and wrote, I think he was directing at some point. I know Miyazaki was involved and then quit. Brad Bird was involved and quit.
Wow.
George Lucas turned it down. You read that Wikipedia and it's just a name of, I don't know, everyone in Hollywood who at some point either worked on it or just turned it down. So I guess the final product, if reviews are to be trusted, is it's kind of a mess, but it looks cool.
Oh, okay.
Which sometimes that's kind of what I want.
I mean, the clip we watched mentioned Nightmare Land.
That's the thing that scares everyone is Nightmare Land.
I get it.
Yeah, because it's like Chernabog vibes from Fantasia, and
there's one. Chernabog from Fantasia.
I'm surprised
yeah.
that didn't show up.
Maybe
if
kids
it did,
weren't
I
watching
missed
Fantasia.
it. I loved Fantasia as a kid. That was one of my favorites. It's weird, like that Chernabog and all that. Fine, I loved it. I was fine with Chernabog, but for some reason, there's a scene in Mr. Mom where he's vacuuming and a blanket gets stuck in the vacuum and all the kids are screaming, and for some reason that was scary to me. Little Monsters is up next.
Our favorite.
Which is a fucking shithouse movie. It's so bad. We've seen it too many times.
We've seen it twice in the past year or two, and I don't think I ever have to watch that movie again.
It is like a car crash we can't stop watching.
Oh no,
but now we're done.
watching,
Now we're good. The dust is settled and we're done. We're walking away from the wreckage. This is a movie where Howie Mandel plays the worst character.
Wow! Baseball cards. I love baseball cards. Got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, got 'em, need 'em.
It's written by the guys who wrote Aladdin, and so this movie is kind of their trial run of the blue fantastical sidekick figure that fixes everything in someone's life. How he
ruins
ruins
everything.
everything, depending on how you look at it.
Maurice is a dick.
Maurice sucks. Yeah, it's Howie Mandel
And so
doing
does
something.
Fucking what's his face?
Oh,
Savage.
Yeah.
He sucks too.
Yeah,
Like, it's a
Fred
little
Savage is
dick
in it,
there,
and
yeah.
so is Daniel Stern playing his dad, which is
angry
weird
fucking dad.
because it's basically the character in The Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Daniel Stern
does the
narrates
voice, the voice
older version of Kevin Arnold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess the part where the kid's head gets punched off by what's
Snick?
his face? Snick. Uh-huh.
Whose actor recently passed, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I guess the Snick was Snick.
Snick was scary. So was Boy. Boy is terrifying.
Boy is when I am like, this is the movie I wanted.
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah. Monsters Inc. The beginning, apparently, because I vaguely remember the beginning of that because I've only seen it once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning is before you realize that the monsters are scaring kids because they use screams for energy. And so it's played as kind of genuinely scary, and where this monster comes out and scares the kid, and lots of screaming, lots of loud noises. I don't really remember much else about it besides that. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's got some creepy stuff.
That freaked me out a little too, especially the beginning, because the setup of it is so fucking weird.
Yeah, and I think the professor also scared me.
Yes.
He was so mean and yeah.
And just opening up his head and poking around at his brain and stuff. And he's also basically making a sex bot for himself during the course of that movie. The beginning where it's the clown with the tearaway face is terrifying, and the thing hiding under the stairs.
I am the one hiding under your stairs, fingers like snakes and spiders in my hair.
Just that whole opening song is very creepy. I think that's
I love that opening song.
It's so good. As much as that movie is, I think, a bit oversaturated now, especially around Halloween time, it's fucking everywhere. And I think it unfairly gets associated with kind of the Hot Topic goth aesthetic that we all like to make fun of. But it's a really good movie.
It's solid. And it's like a nice breezy 80 minutes or something.
It's a tight
maybe
script.
Less. It's tight as hell.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a good movie.
A lot. The music is great. I listen to that soundtrack every year on Halloween. Shark Boy and Lava Girl is next.
Boy, did that click.
Yeah, I was very curious to watch you watch this completely out of context George Lopez robot.
Oh, yeah, what the fuck?
I'm Mr. Electric.
Why are you bringing misery to our planet? You're supposed to be running it.
You're supposed to be running it. I am running it. Right into the ground.
I
awful.
don't remember the plot of this, so I was enjoying just having that come back to me and not being able to explain at all what was happening and why there's a third kid running around with Shark Boy
I was like,
Lava
who the fuck's
Girl.
that
I
kid?
don't know. It's just some kid.
The title is Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Who's this kid? Fucking Pants Boy?
That's the title. That whole sentence. Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And who's this kid? Pants Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what? Shark Boy is Taylor Lautner?
Yeah, Jacob from Twilight.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Rocking a very spiky haircut that young me can appreciate.
Yeah. These Scooby-Doo movie series, live and animated, apparently
We just watched the live one.
Yeah, I could see how it's scary to kids, that ghost in the beginning where it's that clown thing. He's flying around. I don't know. There's a lot of weird CGI in those too. The animated movie, I've never seen the animated.
But everyone fucking loves Zombie Island.
That's the one by,
yeah,
Zombie
that's the clip
Island
I watched.
far.
But in Trick or Treat, Mr. Krieg he's like flipping through the channels and they have it on there.
Really?
Yeah, because in my kill count, all the comments were like, "Oh my god, Scooby-Doo Zombie Island!" I was like, I didn't even realize.
Holy shit!
Yeah, people fucking love it, dude.
Weird. Okay, maybe we'll watch it.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be like legit good.
Yeah. By the way, Matthew Lillard is my Shaggy. Hashtag not my Shaggy. Yeah, that sucks.
I like Will Forte.
I like Will Forte too, and that's why it sucks even more.
Yeah.
It's not great. Small Soldiers is next, and we just watched
this for a commentary track for Practical Folks.
This was a movie that, did it come out after Toy Story?
I think it was 96.
Okay, so I could see, because they also were doing, it was either Burger King or McDonald's had toys for Small Soldiers, so I bet so many parents thought this was a movie for kids and took their kids, and it is not a movie for kids.
It's Joe Dante. It's Gremlins,
True, it is ambiguous. I forgot that it's Joe Dante.
Yeah, he had those small soldiers all around his house.
When you interviewed him, did you talk about?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
You mentioned
for sure.
Soldiers.
Yeah, of course.
The scene that everyone who wrote this movie in referenced is the scene with the Barbie dolls where they're tying up Kirsten Dunst. And
is that when you get the fucking ridiculous Baton Death March reference?
Yes.
Run! She's got a baton! It's a baton death march!
We got Spirited Away, the parents turning into pigs.
Everything in that movie.
I was going to say,
dude.
I feel like everything in that movie. Miyazaki's, his movies are great because they all are a little freaky.
Yeah, they're creepy.
They're all scary, yeah. Spy Kids.
I never watched them, dude. Everyone says it's good and that I look like, what's his face from him?
Alan Cumming?
Yeah, everyone says I look like
God.
Alan Cumming from Spy Kids.
That would be an obscure, weird cosplay to do. I could be a Thumb. I could make a big thumb
God, those Thumbs were fucking
and the Thumbs are the thing that people wrote in.
Was it the Thumbs or the Fooglies who were also in the
everything,
scene?
all of them, all of these weird little critters
I just watched that clip
running
and
around.
I was disgusted.
So the plot of Spy Kids, which I also saw in theaters, and I was shocked to realize has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't realize it's actually a good movie. I just remember it being really weird. But the basic plot is that you have this children's show host who's Alan Cumming who kidnaps agents from the spy agency and turns them into his fooglies.
Now returns Foots Fooglies.
Junie, why did you watch that show?
Because it's cool.
And the one in that clip that I showed you, or the main agent that gets kidnapped, is Mike Judge. As in Beavis and Butthead, Office Space Mike Judge.
Yeah.
Great. Love it. But yeah, and then there's Thumbs,
Oh,
which are...
They just make me feel very uncomfortable.
They're imagine a person, but their head's a thumb, their arms are thumbs, and their legs are thumbs.
Yep.
It's the Thumb.
It's the Thumbs.
Yep. Last on this list of this second tier is the Dark Crystal. I get why that would be a scary movie. Yeah, I know.
It's the most boring, joyless movie I've ever seen.
I have to agree. It looks amazing.
Yep.
Puppetry's great, but wow, is it a joyless slog of a movie.
It is a slog of a fucking movie. Crack one joke.
Yeah.
Have one smile.
Yeah, it's
so serious.
It's not my favorite.
No fucking thank you.
Labyrinth far and away is a better movie.
And Labyrinth's not even like, when Bowie's not on screen, I start to get antsy.
True. I start to get a little, I don't care as much.
Yeah.
But it's still, you've got a human actor to ground things.
Yes.
And you have cute little puppets, like that little caterpillar is cute. Dark Crystal is just a bunch of nasty ass looking puppets.
Yeah.
And even the good puppets are a little freaky looking too.
I don't like them.
Hey, it's Chelsea. Gonna take a break really quick to talk about our sponsor, Eero. Eero is a Wi-Fi router that allows you several points of access throughout your home to your Wi-Fi. And normally this is something you find in an office. It's usually pretty expensive, but Eero is the first consumer version of this. I'm very excited to have it, especially since James and I both work from home. It basically makes it so that you don't have weird patchy Wi-Fi. Like if, everyone's got that corner of their living room or bedroom or whatever that for some reason the Wi-Fi is just not getting to. But this prevents all that. It's designed to provide simple security too that defends all your devices against malware, spyware, phishing, unsuitable content. You can place blockers through Eero. So if you listen to Dead Meat, but you don't want your kids to listen to it, You can block us on your internet if you want. If you want to do that through Eero, there is a way to do that. They offer ad blocking, VPN protection from Encrypt.me, antivirus software from Malwarebytes, password management. All you need to set it up is an internet connection. It just replaces the router you already have. It sits on a flat surface, plugs in with the power adapter, and that's it. Really simple setup. And again, this is something you would typically only find in an office, and it's really, really expensive and annoying to set up, really difficult to set up. But this lets you manage a network, an office quality network at your home from the palm of your hand. So there's an app, which is awesome, and you'll know how many devices are connected at a time, and you'll be able to see the internet speed that you're getting from your provider. And there's really good customer support too. That's always very important, especially where internet is concerned, because you never know. So never think about Wi-Fi again. If you want to try Eero, you can get $100 off the Eero base unit and 2 beacons and a year of Eero Plus if you visit Eero.com, that's EERO.com/deadmeat, and enter the promo code deadmeat. So our next tier is these are specific characters that people are scared of. We've got Barney, just straight up Barney the purple dinosaur.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. He never freaked me out, but I could
he's
see
a
why.
friendly dinosaur.
He's big. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's for hugs.
That's true. That's kind of why he's scary though, is he's saying I love you, you love me. Like,
do
I
I,
never
Barney?
yet do I?
I never said that.
Bear in the Big Blue House, something I was too old for, but
I can see his neck scares me.
Yeah.
I feel like his neck is it could like he'll be standing up and then
he can lunge at you.
Yeah, and
it's
then
like
your head's
Big
in his
Bird.
mouth.
I think it's the same style of puppet as a Big Bird, where it's the hand up and it could just like lunge at you,
I don't like
grab
it.
you, and it's just the puppets in that. I think the moon is kind of scary looking too, but that show actually I feel like is very sweet. And
is it?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be scary looking at all, but
yeah.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I think
something that's supposed to be scary, but that scared me too.
Everything on that show, I think, is supposed to be
Everything
scary.
is terrifying.
There are
on
things
that
that are
show.
like legit scary.
There's an episode of that show. It might actually be the first episode of it that I saw as a kid, and I didn't watch that show again for so long. It was the one where there's this weird chicken, and it's like the eggs that are all gross looking, and I don't even remember specific details of it. I just remember one with this scary chicken that, I know that show freaked me out.
Also, They Might Be Giant song about it.
Really?
Yeah.
About
It's
courage?
Yeah, it's like Eustace, Mario,
Oh, yeah.
somebody's at the door.
Dinosaurs, the TV show. The show we were just talking about on another podcast, Neon Brainiacs.
Oh, yeah.
Keep an ear out for that episode coming out. We were just talking about that show and how...
It ends with their extinction.
Yeah, the end of that show is the dinosaurs go extinct. And also, it's nuts that was a primetime television show. That would never be a TV show now, let alone primetime, like...
Network television.
Yeah.
TGIF, honey. Let's go watch these blue-collar dinosaurs.
Not the mama, not the mama, not the mama.
You do that one more time, and I'm going to throw you across the room.
Kermit the Frog. Multiple emails about Kermit the Frog. And
Okay.
I don't
He's
understand.
like the most milquetoast
I know,
friendly character.
but apparently, according to these emails I got, it's just the way he's so floppy and his limbs are floppy and he's just, I think it's just something off about the way he moves and his limbs are just so dead looking. Like,
Also, I always wanted better for him. He was just, he was in that toxic relationship.
Kermit. I love Kermit. I think Kermit is one of the fictional characters I feel like a lot of kinship with. I don't know. I just vibe with him personality wise.
Isn't he kind of like the same kind of just like bland main character like Mickey Mouse?
No, Kermit's better than Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
Because Kermit gets flustered and he doesn't have a short fuse, but he gets easily frustrated and he's just constantly overwrought.
Yeah.
And he's a lot more neurotic than Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse is boring.
He's highly...
Donald Duck. If I had to pick out of the big original Disney characters, Donald Duck is the best. He's my favorite. Because you know what? Donald Duck He just wants to have a nice day. Like, he wants to have a picnic by himself or go sunbathing or whatever the fuck he's doing in a particular episode. And then either chipmunks or like bees or something, they got to come ruin his day. And I empathize with that. He just wants to spend quality time by himself with no pants on. Muppets in general, next on my list. People are very afraid of Muppets.
Mr. Meaty.
Mr. Meaty, which I
had never heard of. Well, I think it was like 2006.
Yeah, I wasn't watching Nickelodeon at that point.
Yeah.
But I watched clips of it and it's creepy.
It's creepy as fuck. We watched the clip where like they deep fry their own hands.
Yeah.
At first by accident and then on purpose.
Yeah, it's these show with puppets that work in a fast food joint. And I don't know. I like the idea of it. I like the grossness of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was watching it thinking like, okay, I can be down with this as a show. Yeah, but all these characters are nasty looking.
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob. Lots of different SpongeBob episodes that people were afraid of. One that came up a lot was the episode where Squidward is time traveling. The one where he's like, future! And he ends up in that void.
No more. I may finally have found a place where I can be all alone.
Good existential fear. I
like that.
like seeing that. And the hash slinging slasher episode, which I think is the one that ends with Nosferatu flicking the light switch on.
Nosferatu.
Yeah. Teletubbies, their vacuum cleaner specifically is freaking a lot of you out. I don't know what Nunu do to you guys. It's just Nunu. I don't know. I guess I could see Teletubbies being scary, but they're
a little creepy.
They're creepy, but they're so harmless. They're just big babies who have a baby in the sun that talks or doesn't talk. It just makes baby sounds.
Every time you talk about Teletubbies, you reveal a new thing to me that I'm just like, what the fuck is that show? The Tubby Custard and
It's
shit.
wild. Yeah, my sister watched it, and I was like too old to watch it, but I still watched it anyway. I don't know, man. Teletubbies is interesting. I literally, after we recorded that one episode of the podcast where we talked about Teletubbies for a bit, I went on this weird Wikipedia rabbit hole learning about Teletubbies, and it was so interesting. Like the shit that those actors all went through when that show got so famous. And I think fucking was it Jerry Falwell who was freaking out about Tinky Winky being gay? It was one of those big evangelist personalities.
That sounds right, yeah.
Or Pat Buchanan or something.
Pat Robertson.
Yeah. I'm sorry, not Pat Buchanan.
Yeah.
Either way, freaking out about the Teletubbies turning the kids gay, and they're just these actors who had no idea this show was going to get that big, and it was just a gig that they took for some money. Wild stuff. Thomas the Tank Engine, I can get.
Yeah, it's a face stuck on top of a fucking tent. That scares me just because I'm like,
move either. That show is a weird, like, the trains and stuff will move, but their faces, they kind of switch between shots, so they'll have like one expression that's static. And
I never watched it.
I did. I watched the old. I think maybe now it's all CG, but I watched the old one. Yeah, the music video for Thriller. That scared me as a kid. The end where he turns around and his eyes are still all scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Vincent Price monologue also is what a lot of people answered.
Yeah.
It's a creepy monologue.
It's a creepy monologue with a creepy voice.
Yeah. See, we can still like Thriller because Vincent Price is in it. And Wallace and Gromit.
Oh.
I loved Wallace and Gromit growing up. I told you this, but I had a Wallace and Gromit alarm clock during elementary school that every morning when I got up for school, it would go off and it would say, "Morning, Gromit, time for walkies." And you had to press one of his slippers to turn it off. I loved that. I've thought about buying an old one of those on eBay before just to have one again.
Because that's what you do when you turn 30 and you have disposable income. You start buying shit from your childhood.
Yeah, reference all of the Jurassic Park toys on the set. But specifically the thing that scared me, and I think if you talk to people who watched the show growing up would agree with me, is the penguin that shows up in like the third episode. Have you seen this before? The
No.
penguin. We should
Oh,
watch.
yeah.
We should watch that episode though, because it's legit scary. I think it qualifies as a horror short for sure. It's this penguin who shows up who's an established criminal and is in disguise he puts a glove on his head so that he looks like a rooster.
That's right.
And this penguin, man, it has the deadest eyes and he is out for blood. I don't know, I think it's just the dead eyes, and you know that he would kill you if he needed to. Here's my pick for underrated scary thing. This is an episode of Ghost Rider, which if none of you remember it, I got a few emails about it though and just felt so seen. It was a show on PBS that was about it was a ghost that would help kids solve mysteries he would like fly around and he could highlight letters and stuff, and he could also type stuff on computers and things. And it was kind of it was like a detective show, which I loved as a kid. I had Ghost Rider books and stuff, and it taught you how to be an amateur detective and stuff. But this episode of Ghost Rider, which I learned is the series finale,
Oh, fuck.
which I love that this was the series finale, had this monster in it called Gooey Gus.
I'm burning mad. I'm steaming mad.
Who was a purple doll that one of the kids had that would spit up this purple slimy shit that you could take him, you could chew it and it would turn into great bubble gum. And it one of the kids starts writing a story about it and stuff in the story starts happening. So they try to kill the doll and they dump water on it, but it makes him turn life size and he just starts like cackling and he's like, "Are you laughing at me?
Laughing at me? You laughing at me?"
And that's the end of one episode. It's like to be continued where this thing is about to murder these kids on a rooftop. The monster Gooey Gus apparently was designed by Tom Savini. I had no idea.
Fucking funny.
I love that.
It looks like Jason.
It does. It looks like a
faces melty. It's like a purple Jason.
Purple Jason wearing a leather jacket. And someone, I was reading something about it, and someone's like, Tom Savini designed it because it's wearing a leather jacket. Yep, that shit's scary. I guarantee any clip of it I put in this is going to look like garbage because I haven't seen any good uploads of it, but I'm going to try. So there's Gooey Gus. Okay, so this is a category of ones that make they don't make any sense, but they make perfect sense at the same time. Innocuous things that are not supposed to be scary that people are terrified by. Some of these sent in multiple times, like this first one, anti-piracy ads and FBI warnings.
I get it.
Yeah, I think it's the absolute dead silence that comes with the FBI warning. And it's just this text about how you're going to get arrested if you do anything bad. It's scary. There was oh my God, this is probably the most embarrassing thing that I was afraid of as a kid. This is one I was saving for this.
Oh God.
When I was a kid, my mom had Richard Simmons VHS tapes, like every mom did in the 90s. And I liked to just watch them. I would do the dances along with it, but sometimes I just liked having them on. So I had Sweat Into the Oldies 1 and 2. Sweat Into the Oldies 2 had a FBI piracy warning that was it was like old footage of a courtroom and this person being sentenced for copying a VHS. It's like badly dubbed. Like, did you copy this tape of Richard Simmons Sweat Into the Oldies 2? And there's like footage of the person's mom is like crying and this guy is, it's super high drama. And then it cuts to this newspaper of the guy being sentenced and there's a super scary picture of a guy in the newspaper. And man, that freaked me out to the point where I randomly remembered it a couple months ago and I was scared to Google it, even though I knew it wasn't going to be scary because it's a stupid FBI warning.
Did you find it?
I did. Yeah, I'm going to put the clip in.
Did you or did you not copy Sweat Into the Oldies too? Well,
I did.
Take them away, boys. Don't even think about copying this videotape.
I wonder if anyone else knows what I'm talking about. The nightmare sequence in Apollo 13, which I also get, that was scary to me as a kid. I liked that movie a lot, but it's before he goes to space. Tom Hanks's wife has a nightmare about the cabin depressurizing, and Tom Hanks just flies into space like fucking gravity. Yep. Bananas in pajamas, the rat in a hat.
Just the rat in the hat?
I guess so.
Oh.
But also the whole show is kind of freaky.
Yeah, they're fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, I think the bananas are scarier than the rat in the hat. Rat in the hat is just a rat in a hat.
I don't know why they're chasing after bears and trying to give them hugs.
Yeah.
Also, I think, I mean, I was too old for the show, but I remember like it would come on and I would be like, oh, it's like an animated show because the intro.
The intro is animated.
But then it'd be giant puppets and I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. It's people in big ass banana
They're all
costumes.
British too.
Barry the Biscuit Boy.
Dude, this ad is awesome.
This ad is terrifying.
I'd never seen it before.
I think this is a British food because it's Biscuit
His
Boy.
head crumbles, man.
Yeah, it's an ad for milk that it's like Barry the Biscuit Boy, and his parents tell him don't go swimming outside too long, and he goes swimming and his head crumbles off.
The mother warned, don't swim too long. He dips and dunks, what could go wrong?
They have to bake him a new one.
Yeah,
but
they
is it still
bake him
Barry,
a new.
dude?
I know, right? That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah, is it even him anymore? But yeah, questions you think about after watching the Barry the Biscuit Boy ad. Forte from the Beauty and the Beast Christmas special, voiced by Tim Curry. Yeah, the giant talking organ. I could see that. He's pretty.
It's Tim Curry.
1, he's gigantic. 2, it's Tim Curry. And 3, it's weird CGI.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's freaky
That's
looking.
right.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Emperor's New Groove, apparently they zoom into Yzma's mouth where she has the spinach stuck between her teeth, which just reminded me of my fear of the Grinch coming at the camera on the animated special. I get it. I understand that one. The Garfield 9 Lives TV special, which I'd never heard of, but I went and watched parts of it, including one very sad segment. It's like, so the whole thing of it is it's all of Garfield's lives as a cat up to present day.
It's a Garfield's Purpose?
Yeah, it is a Garfield's Purpose. That's
Wow.
what it is. And one of the lives is very sad. And I went and watched it, but it was like, it had a different animation style than the normal. Like, you would never know it was like a Garfield associated anything if you just took it out of context.
Oh, weird.
So that I liked that a lot. But the end of this is what was very scary to this particular person. It's basically God comes out, like Garfield and Odie are just in darkness, and then there's a spotlight, and then God comes out, and it's an actual person, not animated, but it's just straight up person with a super deep voice. And then at the end, he gives Garfield all of his 9 lives back, so he gets 9 more lives, and then God's eyes turn into weird cat eyes, and he's like,
We have to stick together, you know.
what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Yup. Crazy shit. No one talks about that shit. It's so scary. The I Am Aster robot PSA. Did you watch this?
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
Okay. This was a PSA, I believe, in Canada, made by a injured veterans association, like amputees.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And so it's a PSA about like telling kids not to play reckless.
Not to cut their arms off.
Not to get fucked up because they're doing stupid shit. So what it is, it's this robot who's flipping around and doing all kinds of cool stuff. And he's great until he missteps and this robot's arm gets ripped off, but then he gets it attached back on and then says something to the effect of,
I am Astar.
I am Astar, a robot. I can put my arm back on. You can't. So play safe.
End PSA.
Yeah.
For children.
You can't reattach your arm.
Kangaroo Jack. Apparently the kangaroo, there's a fake out where they hit the kangaroo with a car and they think it's dead, but then it's not. And then everyone's like, ah, ah, ah. So it's lots of screaming. That's very scary.
Who was I looking at in that clip? Anthony Anderson and was that Charlie Sheen?
I don't remember who's
He was
in
calling
that.
him Charlie.
Isn't that Jerry O'Connell?
It is Jerry O'Connell from
Yeah.
Scream 2.
Yeah, it is. The Look Who's Talking sperm scene. I wrote Look
No,
Who's
it's-
Talking To on accident. But
Oh,
there is also a sperm scene in Look Who's Talking To, but the first one I think is the creepier one because it's got Bruce Willis voicing a little sperm that's going up to the egg, and he's like, "Come on, guys, it's this way.
I know
Let's
the
go."
way,
I know
yeah.
It is a nightmare.
Come on, follow me. I know where I'm going. Come on. I got the map. Come on. Right down here. Yeah, right down here. Come on.
The MGM lion. My sister was afraid of the MGM lion too.
Loud noise.
It's a loud noise. Yeah, I think a lot of these are just loud noises. Michael Jackson again, Moonwalker, his movie, which has a lot of claymation in it, and creepy shit. Apparently the scene on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in Disney World specifically, so this does not exist anymore. You crash into a barn and there's chickens everywhere.
We don't have that at ours?
No.
I didn't recognize it.
We do not have that at ours. The Disney World version was different. There also were 2 tracks. So you could pick which track you want, and they're different.
Oh, crap.
And that's not there anymore.
And they got rid of it?
Yeah.
Bastards.
I know. It's being a theme park fan. James, everything you love will be taken away by Bob Iger, whoever's in charge.
For life.
Mrs. Doubtfire, specifically the scene where he puts his face in the cake. He's like,
yeah. I remember that.
I don't know what else to say about that. This I love because it's so fucking specific. This might be my favorite thing. At the end of Muppet Babies, there's the Muppet Babies credits, and there's a production company logo where I don't remember what the production company is, but there's the CGI Spider-Man that like crouches over the logo, and it is creepy.
Yeah.
I understood 100% what this person was afraid of and why they were afraid of it. And I laughed so hard because it was such a perfect one where I wasn't scared by it as a kid, but watching it, I totally could understand why.
Yeah, and like, why the fuck's Spider-Man there?
I have no idea.
You're watching Muppet Babies.
Dude, I don't know. The PlayStation 1 and 2 startup noises.
I love that.
I love that too, yeah, because I get it. The THX noise.
Similar, yeah.
I get it. Just a big loud noise.
It's just like power.
It's very ominous.
Yeah.
Someone wrote in saying that they accidentally watched only the second VHS of Titanic. So just the scary shit with no context.
Oh, that's funny.
Which yes, that would be traumatizing.
Save you a lot of time though.
This also made me laugh very hard. The Young and the Restless theme song, which so my mom watched soap operas when I was growing up, and I instantly knew what this person was talking about. The theme for The Young and the Restless is just a bunch of actors in this like white ambiguous space, and they kind of fade in and out. It's just a kind of a weird slideshow of hot actors that just come in and out, and it's just white nothingness and this music.
Also surprised the X-Files theme isn't on here. Is it because it's
I might have just missed
meant to be scary?
Maybe. I think that maybe that's why I didn't include it.
I never watched the show,
because
but
it's supposed to be scary.
Yeah, I would hear it on TV and be like, nope.
Yeah, that music is really scary. These are some emails I'm going to read really quick that I just thought were so like these are just so good. I had to include them in whole. So this is from Ashley Passage. My whole family has always watched wrestling. My cousin literally told me The Undertaker was really dead, so I was terrified of The Undertaker and Paul Bearer as a kid, especially Paul Bearer. His voice scared the hell out of me. Yeah. I love that. I mean, that is what the WWF would have you believe, that he's really undead. It's all real, man. Who's to say it's not?
Fucking Triple H on last week's Raw talking about Ric Flair and shit. They kept breaking kayfabe.
Oh,
I was getting pissed.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I was like half paying attention.
Yeah.
This email killed me. It's so fucking good. This is from Heather Deutsch. Probably a weird one, but as a kid, I was terrified of Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Throughout the movie, the main dog's quote-unquote booties, her dog shoes, would fall off and other characters would comment on it. The problem with this for me was that the shoes were the same color as the dog's fur, so every time she would yelp about it, the audience would see where one ended up. 8-year-old me thought the booties were chunks of her hindquarters flesh that had begun to fall off. It didn't help that this was after she escaped from a dog fighting ring, and it terrified me that this poor dog had just been getting mutilated all movie. Praying this is a judgment-free zone. A decade later, I'm still not smarter.
Like air actually booty.
That made me laugh so hard.
That's so funny.
Just the idea that this whole movie for kids, this dog's feet, the skin of this dog's feet are just
No, I think she
falling
means the skin of her butt.
Oh, that's
like
right,
her
'cause it's booties, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like her butt's falling
There's this
off.
weird butt flesh just falling off and getting reattached.
Oh, that does remind me that Chance, the dog in Homeward Bound, getting hit by the porcupine quills in the mouth. That scared me a lot as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was sad.
Yeah.
I have a hard time differentiating things that are sad
And scary,
scared.
yeah. This is from Grace Hudock. And she says, "Hey, Dead Me, I emailed you before chronicling the horrors of Jumanji." Lots of emails about Jumanji. "Before my dad called to remind me of the times as a toddler I was so afraid of Dora the Explorer that I could not watch the show peacefully. It wasn't Dora I was afraid of. It was Swiper, the fox that terrorizes her nonchalantly throughout the series. Apparently, as a child, I was convinced that Swiper would come through the screen a la Ring style and swipe me away, as my dad says. To where, my dad says I never clarified. I think I was afraid I'd have to fight a cartoon fox. My babysitter/dad had to cover him up whenever he was on the TV screen, or I would be unable to sit peacefully and enjoy the show. If they missed him and I saw him, it was instant tears until he left the screen. Even when he just popped up in the background behind some bushes, it was game over for me. My dad had to be super vigilant and jump up to cover him constantly, as I love Dora a lot, despite my fears." I love that. That is so...
The Swiper successfully scared.
All I could think of was in 9th grade, we watched Romeo and Juliet, the one from the late 60s, I think is what it was. And
with Olivia Hussey.
Yes, with Olivia Hussey in
Okay.
it. Yeah, and you see Olivia Hussey's boobs in it.
Oh.
And I remember that happened, and my teacher grabbed like a manila envelope and was just like, oh, like covering him on the screen wherever they went. And that's all I could think of during that, but with Swiper.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. That's it. You have
Cool.
any other, can you think of any other ones, or you just weren't scared of shit as a kid?
No, I was scared of stuff. I just can't think. Like, I remember I saw Lost World in theaters, and when that trailer went over the cliff, I was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the most prevalent memory I have of being scared, I guess, as a kid.
Yeah. I remember also something I saw in a theater. AMC used to have a mascot. I don't know if you remember him, where he was the guy made out of film strips. Do you remember him from the 90s? He might have even been early 90s, but AMC had this little fucker that was made of film strips, and he would show up before each movie, and there was one where I think he like tripped and fell, and there were just film canisters falling everywhere, and it was loud and scary, and I didn't like that guy at all. That guy, for some, like, I think about him and I get the chills. Hate that little
Have
film
you looked
strip.
him up?
Yeah, I have, to see if I dreamed him or if he was real.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. So that's that.
Yeah.
I hope that was fun. I had fun reliving all of this trauma together.
Feel free to let us know in the comments if there are other things we
Yeah.
missed.
Yeah. Next week, I think we're going to do another movie,
Okay.
because the week after I want to do a more heavy research one. So I want to give myself more time to prep. So we'll do a movie next week.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can follow Dead Meat on social media at Dead Meat James on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm at Carebeck, Carebecc on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want merch, deadmeatstore.com. Don't forget, we got new pins.
Mm-hmm.
They're Let's Get to the Kills pins that I designed myself.
Yeah, they look good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
I can hear that
echo. Yeah. Until then, I'm James.
I'm Chelsea.
And this has been the Dead Meat Podcast.